In this episode, there's a new vlogger invading our turf.
You're in our shop, could you just leave?
Just look at these lovely spirals.
Do you know who I am?
Another English vlogger.
This is my patch.
That does a guy though, what a tosser.
We're gonna go for a beer tonight. Just hold it by the tip.
But I'm gonna have to crank that ISO, so let's take it up to 2500, which is a lot more than I would like to use.
That's perfect. Now just hold that position.
So that is how you quickly and very easily blend an element. Oh, that definitely needs a Milky Way in that river. You can't put your ads in my video.
Why not?
You didn't get me a muffin.
No, I didn't get you a muffin.
There is nothing worse than getting all excited about going on a shoot with the walking fossil, only to discover there's somebody in your shot.
Oi! Yeah? You're in our shop, could you just leave?
I've been here 2 hours.
Yeah, but just go down this river about 500 metres so we can't see you, and it'll all be good.
Yeah, thanks.
Your name isn't on the rocks.
Do you know who I am?
That's Adam Gibbs.
Oh yeah, he's in your videos, isn't he?
Well, sometimes, used to be quite often, not that much these days, but yeah, if you could just go down river, that'd be great, thanks.
Alright then, but I've got something for you.
Yeah, you got something for us?
Off.
It's a bit out of order, is that? Absolutely outrageous.
Bloody rude.
Yeah. Now that really is no way to treat a man of Uncle Grumpy's advanced years.
Is he vlogging? Is he a vlogger? Look at that bloody English vlogger.
Another English vlogger.
This is my patch. What? This is our patch.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking was, I'd show you this spot here on the Oyster River. I've never been here before, but a friend of mine, Warren, he got a really cool shot of this spot back a couple of years ago.
So what's the shot?
Well, the shot is, so in the background here, we've got these gorgeous potholes, which I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say it's karst topography. It's that rock that karst produces, I think. But what I love is these lovely green hues that you can see coming over these rocks and then these potholes. This island is absolutely gorgeous. It's really beautiful to the naked eye, but to get shots, to get picturesque images, it's really difficult. It's not easy, and that's part of the fun. It's like a challenge, right?
Because I think I had actually someone say to me, they commented, do you ever photograph anything but trees or waterfalls? I was like, well, that's what's here, trees and waterfalls.
That's all
we have a bit of coast, but it's not, it's pretty, but it's not dramatic, is it?
No, you work with what you got, right? When I was in the mountains, it was all mountains and lakes, but now that you're on the island, it's rivers, forests, waterfalls, beaches. Maybe some bears. I just think you should strip off your clothes and just dive in, and
I'm not diving in anywhere.
Just get in the water, and I think the people would love to see that.
No,
you have got those nice legs.
I think they'd rather see Amanda.
I'd rather see you in Amanda's bikini. That I would pay money for.
No, that's not going to happen.
You draw the line?
Yeah.
All right. Well, shall we see what we can do then, eh?
Yeah, all right.
I was really drawn to these hypnotic paisley patterns of bubbles swirling down the river, so I wanted to find a composition that would feature those, but after scouting around the area, it became obvious that the best shots were over by that obnoxious vlogger. So I found this lovely composition. Oh, you're here with us now? It's that guy from earlier.
What do you think of that then?
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Good to meet you, it's that does a guy though, what a tosser.
We're going to go for a beer tonight.
Yeah, you can clear that with me.
I thought you said you'd asked him.
Okay, so I've found what I think is a lovely composition. So what I'm looking at is these beautiful rock formations over here. And the way that these bubbles kind of spiral in, and you can see they come in waves. So I've got like one group of bubbles spiraling in, and they create these whirlpools. So what I have is these temporary spirals in the foreground, and then just behind that you've got these beautiful rock formations under this green water. So I found the comp that I like, but technically it's really difficult because I haven't got anything to focus on. All I've got is bubbles and some rocks that are underneath the water, so how do you focus on that? So I'm going to show you a little trick that's going to hopefully get me around that problem and give me perfect focus. And what I'm going to use is this tripod. So yeah, you might enjoy this trick, Adam. It's pretty cool little.
Now, you've probably heard the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. So I decided to befriend this Brian character and thus enlist his help in achieving perfect focus. And to my delight, he agreed to help by navigating these slippery rocks with a skill that, quite frankly, I thought was amazing for somebody at his current level of inebriation.
Right, so you're in position, yeah. There was an easier way to get in there, but you're here now.
Where's your length?
My length is there. If you can just grab the tripod and just, as I explained, just hold it into the water, get it in the white stuff, and I should be able to get perfect focus.
So if you could just get really close to that edge there, Bri, and then just hold my pole aloft into the white fluid, and then I've got a focus point.
This white stuff here?
Yes, yeah. I mean, so if you just put
It's a bit sticky.
if you put all three legs together like a pole, then you can, it'd be longer. You can hold it where I need it to be.
That's in the white stuff now.
Yeah. So, but I need it over there. So if you just kind of hold it by the head, just hold it by the tip, and then just extend the length as far as possible into the white stuff. That's perfect. Now just hold that position, right? I just need you to hold that position. Hang on a second.
Brian's skill and stance was the best I've ever seen, and in spite of the language barrier, we got there in the end.
That's perfect. You've got really good form there, Bri.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
So we're done there now. So you can finish off and get back up here.
I'll just shake it.
Yeah, just give it a good dangle. Thanks, Bri.
So now that Bri the Geordie has helped, you're a Geordie, aren't you, Bri?
Why, yeah, man.
I don't know what. Do you speak English, or is it just Geordie?
I do you.
So now that Bri the Geordie has helped me to focus on this shot, now I'm getting some really tasty composition. So hopefully you can see from there that lovely white foamy spirally water is just drifting in and out just in front of these rock formations, and that's all that my composition is. In fact, I'll show you the back of the camera and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So what I've got with this composition, I'll just brighten it up a little bit so that you can actually see what's going on. Just look at these lovely spirals that just come in. So that's basically the bottom half of the frame. And periodically you get these shapes that come in and really complement these rock formations. And that kind of makes sense because this water has carved these shapes out of this rock. So it kind of makes sense that these spirals would emulate those shapes. And so I've got this kind of echo of this movement being echoed by this lovely rock formation. So you've got a sense of permanence against this fleeting moment that just comes through the scene. Occasionally you'll get this leaf, you get a nice lovely maple leaf that kind of just wanders into the scene. But even then, with the shutter speeds that I'm shooting at, it's not perfectly sharp. I'm just managing to get like a leaf or a collection of bubbles frozen, but they're not super sharp because I'm having to crank the ISO up and shoot probably around about f6.3, I think was the last one, but we'll see. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try anyway, so we'll see if it works. I'm taking these really fast shots, so I'll actually show you the actual shutter speeds that I'm using. So let's go to maybe what we'll shoot at f5.6, but I'm going to have to crank that ISO. So let's take it up to 2500, which is a lot more than I would like to use, but that's giving me a shutter speed of 125th of a second, so I can get that perfect timing. And that's all I'm doing, is I'm just riding that shutter. It would have been perfect if I'd had remote shutter release, because then I wouldn't get the shock from my finger hitting that shutter. But like I said, it's not perfectly sharp anyway. There is some element of blur. And I'm just basically waiting for those perfect moments. As you can see, it's coming in and then it drifts out. So it's just a waiting game, really. So I've used a circular polarizer on this camera, and as you can see just there's just a little bit of a reflection of the trees. That's as good as I can get it. But before that I put the polarizer on, it was really quite bad. So it's always a compromise, isn't it? You're getting some of what you need, but not all of what you need. Ooh, look at that. That's, oh, it's kind of hypnotic, isn't it, Adam?
That's great.
So I'm going to try and notch down that ISO a little bit. I'll shoot wide open now at 2.8. And look at that, it's still managed to get me that 125th of a second, but I've been able to turn the ISO down. So I'm just going to play with those numbers and see what gives me the best combination. Ideally, you don't want to have that ISO as high as that because it's just noisy, but it's quite dim now. Earlier, it was much brighter, and I was able to get much faster shutter speeds without such a high ISO, but this is what I've got right now. But I think we'll just camp out here for a little bit, trade some stories, and wait for the better light to come. And I hear that Bry is something of an alcoholic, so he might have a few cans of Guinness in his bag, I'm wondering.
I think so.
Yeah? Oh, he's not that bad after all.
So you've no doubt noticed that in the end I opted for a long exposure instead of the fast frozen motion shots that I spent so long talking about. And the reason is I just loved that the long exposure showed you more of what was under the surface. But how did I get that maple leaf frozen in place? Well, let me show you how. So this is obviously Adobe Photoshop, and I want you to just look down here on the bottom right to the layers panel. So what I've got is my long exposure, which is what you're seeing right now, and then I'll switch on the leaf exposure. So this is the much faster exposure that freezes all of the motion, and I really preferred, I'll switch that off, I really just preferred the look of this exposure. It just seemed a little bit more magical, but I wanted that sharp leaf. So how do I combine that with that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this leaf exposure layer here, and I'm just going to use the marquee tool here to just draw a box. So I just click and drag, it just draws a box around that leaf because that's all I want from that particular layer. And on my keyboard, I'm going to press Ctrl-C, which copies those pixels onto my clipboard, and then I'm going to press Ctrl-V, which pastes them onto a new layer. So you really can't see it there because it's just a tiny amount of pixels, but if I switch this layer off, there you'll see that pasted square. So obviously I don't want all of this turbulent water around the leaf. I just want the leaf, and this is where one of Photoshop's new tools is just absolutely brilliant. So with this leaf layer selected, I'll just call this leaf because that's all that there is. I'm going to go up to select, and I'm going to go to subject. So select subject. So all that Photoshop is going to do is just select just the leaf. It's basically detecting a shape amidst all of this chaos. So I'm hoping you can see, if I just zoom in, you should be able to see the marching ants around that leaf. Now it's not a perfect selection, but that's okay at this stage because I can refine that. So what I'm going to do now is go to select, select and mask. And this will bring up the select and mask tool, and I'm not going to make any adjustments to this in here. The only thing I want to do is just select the output to and switch that to new layer with layer mask. Select that and click OK. So now what that does is it creates a layer mask on a new layer, and I can play with that layer mask to refine the mask. So if we zoom in, you'll see the edge, the very tip of the leaf is kind of fading out a little bit, and there's a kind of a cut-off point between the stem and the leaf. So I just want to use a small white brush. So I'll click on my brush tool, make sure that it's white, and I'll get a very small brush. So I'm going to use my left bracket key to bring that down here. Very tiny. I'm just going to brush that in. There we go. Let's fix that. I'm just going to brush that into there. and that's fixed that little cut where the stem was. And that's it, that's all I needed to do. So if I zoom out now, I've got that perfect leaf on its own layer. If I switch that off, you see there it is. And then I'll confess, what I actually did is I moved it ever so slightly. So I'm going to select the move tool, and then what I did is I just moved it just to about there, because it just sat in that little space of darkness a little bit more, and it just made it pop a little bit more. So that is how you quickly and very easily blend an element from a fast exposure into a long exposure. And I really like the end result. Now, if that cool trick doesn't deserve a like and a subscribe, well, I don't know what does. Oh, and while you're at it, just tickle my bell so that you get notifications when I post new videos. Now let's check in with Gandalf the Moth-Eaten.
Are you getting a decent shot?
I think this might be actually quite good.
Yeah?
Your eyesight's better than mine.
Well, I mean, I'm like 25 years younger than you. That's a nice shot.
Cheeky bonus. I think that might work out. I'm gonna have to burn that in though.
But you don't touch your images up in post though. They're straight out of camera, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, JPEG.
None of this Luminar AI shit.
Oh yeah, bollocks.
I'll slip in a sky into that. How about that? Put a couple of rainbows in there.
Yeah.
How about a Milky Way?
Oh, that definitely needs a Milky Way in that river.
Yeah. Luminar can do that for you.
Can it?
You can, with a click of a button.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
this video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Oh,
Thanks, Squarespace.
You can't put your ads in my video.
Why not?
That's just rude. Unless you want to give me like some money.
Have you got a Squarespace website yet?
No, I would have do
Instead of
that.
that WordPress stuff you do, you know, that coding. With the Squarespace website, it's very easy just to
Look,
drag and
you're not getting paid to be in my video. The Noive.
I hear you're looking for a Fuji GFX 50R.
Well, I'm looking for a GFX 100. You've got one going.
I've got a 50R.
Have you?
I'll sell it to you, good price.
I don't think your patron will appreciate you profiting off his generosity.
Well, it's going towards another Fuji.
My arm's getting really heavy now. Do you want to squeeze in just one more sponsorship mention?
No, that's it.
Yeah, there's no one else you've sold your soul to?
Oh, well, the Colorado Tripod Company.
Okay, that's enough of that. I'm going...
What a brilliant day of landscape photography shenanigans we'd had. I even made a new friend, and although I couldn't understand a word he said, I honestly couldn't have got that crap shot without his help.
So did you get that muffin that I got you?
No,
So whose is this in the bag?
that's mine.
It's not Gavin's.
No,
You didn't get me a muffin?
no, I didn't get you a muffin.
Oh, what a bastard.
That's what he said about you when he was eating it. I'm happy with that, right?
Nice job, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Good to meet you, you know. It's that other guy though, what a tosser.
We're gonna go for a beer tonight.
Yeah, I've got some Guinness in the back. All right,
still
then,
be-
I'll do that. I've got something for you anyway.
Yeah? Oh, something from his bag.
Be good.
All right then, I'll do that. I'll tell you what, I've got something for you.
All right, mate. Yeah, nice, eh? This is going to be difficult.
Anyway, I've got something for you and then I'll go, eh?
Can you say that in English? We can't understand, Geordie.
Cheeky bastard.
All right.
So I've got something for you.
Oh, what do you got then? That's all right. Floundering. Can we do it?
Can I carry on with your swirls?
Okay,
Yeah, I'll give you a swirl. Here's a chocolate swirl.
I came so close to doing it.
Jesus,
Sorry.
spike in his face.
Can I see your shot then?
Well, I'll have to take it first, and then I'll let you study it.
All right.
Maybe just watch my videos. Just hit that subscriber button. And watch all the ads too. Just let them play out for a bit.
I tried skipping through them, but if I just skip to a different part of the video, it plays 2 ads all at once.
Did you get that Squarespace website yet?
What, Squarespace?
It's an all-in-one platform where
Hey, you're not putting your Squarespace in my videos, you cheeky saucepot. That'll be $122, please.
Yeah, just drag and drop. It's very easy.
Susan's this in the bag?
Oh, that's my muffin.
Did you not get Gavin one?
No.
Oh, what a bastard.
That's what he said about you when he's eating.
There's a tool, man.
It's a tool. There's a tool holding the Osmo. Look at that, eh? Don't do that behind his back.
What? I think you should go like shave the sides and have like a mohawk type thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. You get a lot of attention.
Yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I do like the ladies.
Do you? Do you now? We're doing a thumbnail for Brian for his video because he's a vlogger. Right.
Of course he is.
And
Who isn't? Who isn't a vlogger?
and he's a bit demanding. He wants all kinds of stuff like.
All angles.
Yeah.
The more angles, the better.
Lick your lips, all that kind of stuff. It's a bit weird.
Ow! Pull that. I don't want it. That's my pack.
Oh, I've got a tripod, man.
Yeah, I've got the bottom. Get your leg over. Oh. What the?
Don't you put your leg over that?
Hernia. I need to pull this. You hold that bit.
Yeah, here we go.
His bag's caught.
He's all,
Your bag.
oh, you're ripping your bag. You're ripping your bag. Hang on, back up a bit. There you go.
Right, got.
Is that the way you go through? You have to go through that hole.
It's dead simple, really.
Yeah, let me hold that for you.
Hang on, just pull him.
Easy, really.
That wasn't too bad, was it?